We're back. I'm doing the intro.
Cal?
Oh, we lost
Yeah,
Kel
Cal.
already?
Did
Oh,
we
well,
already lose him? Oh God,
we
I
lost
knew we were
some.
gonna have some technical difficulties.
That means this is going to be the
That's all
best
right.
episode yet. So we got the
Yep, we
Zandvort
could handle this.
preview with the boys. We're going to little follow up from last weekend in Spa, and hopefully we get Kel back in time. But
Yeah. He looks
and
pretty stoked now from his
he,
frozen picture.
he
He's
looks really
good.
pumped. So
He looks pumped to be here.
I think he was really happy to see Max and Checo take a 1-2 last weekend and extend the lead in the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors. So I think that's why Kel's really
Absolutely.
happy. And it was a great result all around. So
I
we,
can't I cannot I cannot disagree with any of that. I
yeah.
completely think it was all in all a fantastic result for everybody. He might be back.
So we had Spa last weekend.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh man. So Kel's reporting from the moon. Nope. I think I heard the word better.
not better,
You should
Kel.
go find your nearest Starbucks.
Yep. Earlier you looked happy like you're winning the Drivers' Championship, and now you look sad like you're losing the Drivers' Championship.
Exactly. Yeah. You went from Max to Goat Tiffy real quick. But no, dude, I'll tell you what, Max driving the piss out of that car this past weekend.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
So I think it's very similar to last year when Lewis did this in Brazil and everyone was like, what the fuck did those Mercedes do? I'm not going to say maybe Red Bull played around a little bit and did some sneaky upgrades, but I think they're still due for their lightweight upgrade because they're still around 2 kilograms over the weight limit, which should account for 2 or 3 tenths. But even Checo said it. Max was on another level last weekend. He was so fast. So that was the second largest gap that's ever happened on Spa. The first was Jenson Button in his championship for Braun GP. And that was 30 seconds. Max was 17 seconds ahead of Checo. That's crazy.
It's unbelievable, dude. I mean, like,
yeah.
and this is where like we saw this past weekend where this gets back in my mind to the whole conversation that always surrounds F1, which is, how much is it the car versus the driver? And like, I mean, dude, Max right now is playing, chess while everyone else is playing checkers. I mean, he literally is like a man amongst boys out there. It's unbelievable. And
he's maximizing his package.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, yes, obviously that's a great car Red Bull has, but I mean, dude, like, I mean, the closest thing would be the Ferrari, we would assume, right? And I mean, it's just look at what he was able to do in terms of just like, I mean, Kel has it in the notes here, P3 by lap 7.
Yeah. Starting P14.
I mean, that's insane. So, I mean, that's exceptional driving. And he won that race by, what'd you say, 17 seconds?
17 seconds ahead of Checo. And Checo was, I don't know, 10 ahead of Carlos towards the end there. So,
yeah. We're in. I think for a early crown champion this year, and it's going to be the battle for second place.
If Max wins, there's 8 races left. If he wins 4 of the next 8, I think he's crown champion in Suzuka, Japan, I believe, or it's the last race in Europe. But it's hard to say he doesn't have it in the bag. I don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, we got our fearless leader back too.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
You're good. Yeah, you're live.
I just hear talking about Max domination.
Yeah, yes. You were frozen and you were smiling. So we were like, oh, Kel's showing how happy he was about a Max Checo 1-2 this weekend.
I'll come back pissed off about Charles getting pitted lap 4 and then ending up P5, but no, Charles P6 because of a 5-second penalty. Yeah,
so Max tore off his visor tear, which is very common practice. If there's debris in front of you, if there's smoke, if there's dust, But he Mario Karted it like a banana, and it ended up in Charles' brake duct literally on the opening lap, and that caused sensors and brake overheating. So Charles had to pit very early, and then his pit lane violation was due to a speed sensor malfunction from Max's visor tear in his brake duct. So
Okay. Oh, Max.
it's tough.
Dude, I mean, that's I don't
one
know
in a
what
million.
the odds
That's one in a
are of
million.
that. That's I feel like it's more than 1 in a million. I mean, that is like, that's just that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, that's just crazy with the luck that he's been experiencing this year. To then,
Yes,
it's like, I mean, it's like borderline. Just, I mean, if you were writing a sitcom about this, the writing room would be like, no, that's too unrealistic. We can't put that in there. It's not real life.
Yeah, that's a bad sitcom. Welcome back from summer break. Here's what you
Exactly.
expect to happen, but worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done with having any hope. The season's over. We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to 2023.
Yep. So you're still Tifosi after all this. You're still here.
Yeah, I still have to be a Charles fan. I can't really back out at this point. I'm kind of in too deep.
It's like me with my McLaren hat. I can't jump off McLaren. I'm already in too deep.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just need to cross my fingers and hope Binotto gets fired in at least the next 12 months, hope maybe 24, but I don't see it happening. So it's just going to be, until he's gone, it's just one of those things where we know we're going to stink. Even if we're really good, we're still going to find ways to stink.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy who had some pretty shitty luck, I don't know if we already talked about it, Valtteri.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah,
Latifi just can't handle an F1 car, goes in the gravel, spins out, and then there goes Valtteri.
He was under a safety car, and he was in the grass, and he spun out.
I wouldn't even fucking do that.
No, you wouldn't.
If we were driving these cars, we wouldn't even do that.
And
the thing is, I know I wouldn't even have that happen.
No,
it's insane.
And Valtteri gets a DNF because his car gets fucking destroyed, and Goat Tiffy gets to continue the race just in the last place as always. Like,
he is a absolute menace to society.
And the fucking Jos Capito, that badass dude who took over Williams, everybody thought big changes, like great bringing in Albon. How dare you even consider bringing back Latifi next year? How dare you?
I know. Well, yeah, go ahead, Kel.
They have a strong team. Like Albon, P10, he was just hanging on there towards the end by a thread, but it's points, and he's doing big things in that car, and I think he's only going to get better. I think Williams is only going to get better, but you just can't have Latifi on your team, or you're never going to get anywhere.
No,
well, dude, it's like oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
Well, I was just going to say, like, let's not forget, coming into the season, George left them off in a very good spot, like momentum wise, and like, like things at the beginning of this season were looking great for
since
Williams.
Valtteri and Lance
were
there.
Exactly, and it's like I almost don't even believe it. It seems like some kind of joke, like we're being punked that they're going to seriously consider having this guy go in there and race again. Like, with knowing how many great F2 drivers there are, how many potential people you could throw in that car, it's baffling to me that they would even remotely consider that unless they're trying to lose. I don't know. So to see where George left them off, he left them in a great spot to continue the momentum. Albon's been picking up, his end of the bargain with it for sure. Get someone else in there that can do it. There's plenty of worthy drivers out there that would love that seat.
Absolutely. Like Logan Sargent from the U.S. Get him in there.
Yep, absolutely.
Nick DeVries, Mercedes Formula E reserve, Williams contract. Get him in there. Get somebody who could drive in that seat.
The list goes on.
Somebody who's fun. Somebody who's just exciting.
Oh no!
Oh, he's back.
Cal, we're losing you.
Oh God, he's being sucked into the abyss. Poor Cal. He's trying. Brand new apartment, people. It's all right. This will be a while. Yep, he fell off. He expired.
All right, we lost Kel again.
Yeah,
So I
so we're
think
back.
we're just gonna jump into the Zandvoort preview. We're back in Belgium, the Dutch grandstands. Max's home race technically. Last year we saw Zandvoort for the first time in a long time, and I think Red Bull are probably gonna 1-2 again.
Well, dude, and I mean, talk about like, I mean, Max should just eat this entire thing up, man. You're coming back, the defending champ.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know he's excited. I just, you know, I don't know if there's much to like, you know, at least when it comes to first place at this point, the battle for first and this whole Ferrari Red Bull conversation,
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like it's been exhausted. Like
It is.
unless we see Ferrari just do something crazy, or we have a very unfortunate something happen with Max or Checo or both Red Bulls in this, and like
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a scenario where Red Bull and Max in particular are not winning this championship. So it's like now you got to keep your eyes on, you know, the battle for second and then the battle for like third, I think, right?
Yeah. So
I mean this
Charles.
Mercedes battle is not over.
No, definitely. And I think Lewis would have had a very good showing. It sucks what happened
Mm-hmm.
first lap. We didn't really talk about that. We don't really need to. I think it was blown a little out of proportion. Him and Fernando have gotten along. They apologized, even though they are arch enemies. But yeah, I think the battle for second is Checo and Charles. Checo's like 12 points ahead of Charles right now, or something like that, at least double digits. And Charles can't afford that.
Exactly.
He is the fastest car on the track. He's had double the pole positions as Red Bull. You can't let that happen. You can't let him take
No.
second place. So I expect Charles to win 1 or 2. Obviously, it's track to track. Some they're better in the slow corners. Red Bull's better in the straights right now. But yeah, I don't know. I think if they have any chance, Charles needs to win Zandervoot, but that's not happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree. And I think you know, you just have to chalk it up to okay, next year for Ferrari.
Yeah.
And you know, like you gotta almost start over again, wipe the slate clean. You know, my question comes down though to like what kind of damage has been done, almost like we were talking about last week with McLaren and
Mm-hmm.
you know, talking about Zach Brown and these decisions that have been made, how that can infiltrate into a culture of a team and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned it last week with Twitter and you know Ferrari Twitter and just you know that I mean you're talking about one of the most passionate fan bases in all of sports, Ferrari,
Ever.
you know, F1.
Yeah.
And so like there is like it's going to come to a point here. I'm not talking about like losing fan base, but like you know the faith within the organization, the faith within the
Mm-hmm.
team and stuff like that. Like this was the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I don't want to rehash this conversation again, but like just looking at what happened last week, you're almost just like, well, I mean, how incompetent can you be? And moving into next season with the mindset, okay, like, yeah, last year was supposed to be our year. How are we like, unless we make some serious changes at the top and you get a new voice in there, you know, like, I mean, it's almost like the Celtics bringing on, you know, Udoku.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you had the talent, but you sometimes players just need a new voice. You know what I
That's a
mean?
good analogy.
They need a new energy and a new voice in there to like re-energize the team.
Totally.
And right now, Bonotto, I think it's obvious we've all been saying he's got to go, but like, dude, now it's I mean, it's at this point, it's just, you know, so I mean, I'm at a loss for words for figuring out how he still keeps his job after this season.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Ferrari fans. I feel bad for the Tifosi, and I feel bad for the members of the organization. Kimi Räikkönen was the last person to bring a championship to Ferrari. That was 2007.
That's unbelievable.
They couldn't win it with Seb. They're fumbling the bag now with Charles in the fastest car they've had in literally 10 years. It's tough. I
Yeah.
don't know specifics. I'm pretty sure they've had the same strategist since Michael. So they got to
Yeah.
do something about that. And Bonotto is gone. They've
Yeah.
played the Bonotto experiment. He ruined Seb, and I'll never forgive him for that. So
Yeah.
he's got to go.
Yep. No, and I don't think I just don't think you could find I would love it. They would never do it. But can you imagine if F1 put up a poll on Twitter like, should Binotto stay or go?
Yeah. Like a
You would have a
Bleacher Report.
90,
Yeah.
yeah, you would have a 99% like get
Oh,
him
yeah.
the hell out of here response rate. And
Get
so,
him out of there.
you know, again, it's a depressing time to be a Ferrari fan. They had it this year. Everything was looking great, and you know, in true Ferrari fashion, still managed to mess it up, and you know, basically handed it to Red Bull. I still think Red Bull was probably going to win it, to be honest. I just think that the way Max is driving and stuff like that, like, I mean, that's just my opinion. I think Max is the better driver by far.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. That'll always be a question mark. So,
yep. So Zandvoort, we don't really need to get into it. I will say, a few weeks ago at our buddy's house, I was playing on an F1 simulator, a Fanatec F1 simulator, and we just lapped Belgium the whole time. This track is awesome. It is so fun. It is so fast. I'm very excited for it. I need an F1 simulator. I need a racing simulator.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah, dude,
But,
they were having. I mean, they've been reading stuff all week. That I mean, this is the drivers one of the favorites for all the drivers.
It's like a go-kart track to them. Like it's a short lap time, very fast corners. It's going to be a good time. Qual should be very exciting.
Yep. Should we quickly talk about, before we move into, you know, talking about too much? Well, I guess it's part of the preview, but this news about Mick.
Yeah.
With Ferrari.
Yeah.
Right?
So news came out. It was very late in the night, about 2 nights ago. And it was that, I don't necessarily know which side initiated it, but the news came out that Ferrari Driver Academy is separating or parting ways with Mick at the end of this season. But Mick was also asked about it today, and he just said he can't talk about his contract right now. So I don't know if it's a legality on a team he's going to end up. I don't know if it's like a future Ferrari contract. I don't know. I don't know the specifics, but as of the end of this year, Mick will no longer be a Ferrari Academy driver, which is the likes of Antonio Giovinazzi, Arthur Leclerc, like younger F2, F3 series. So take it with a grain of salt. We don't really know what it means. Could it be Mick showing that, I don't know, maybe Seb told him that you don't want to go to Ferrari? That's a little bit of what I've seen. And Seb has really been acting as that role model and father figure. And I can see that maybe Mick pursues a career in Red Bull or Alpine or another team. But yeah, I think take it what you will. I don't know if we'll necessarily see Mick in red anytime soon.
I don't think so either. And I mean, honestly, you know, the more I think about it, it's like, yes, we can romanticize the idea of Mick being one day a Ferrari driver and, you know, like the obviously following his father's footsteps and stuff like that. Yes, that makes for the great Hollywood story, right? But like, you know, when it comes to the reality of sports and stuff like that, I think you just hit it on the head. It's like you have a role model like Seb being like, take a look at your situation right now. You know, there's a lot of teams that are being shook up as a result of some recent silly season moves and stuff like that. And, you know, like you might have an opportunity to really go to a place that will, you know, at least give you a better opportunity. As again, I see Kel put in here the whole, you know, Ocon wanting Mick because there's some, you know, like bad blood between the two of them. You know, so like I don't really get upset by the idea of Mick not ultimately ending up in a Ferrari. I don't know why. No. Like it doesn't really like. It doesn't bother me. I think actually like it's kind of cool. Go do your own thing, become your own driver. Right. I think he's got the potential, like, you know, go do it. You know, he's got a lot of pressure with this whole Ferrari thing. I think this would shed a lot of that.
Aside from 2004, that was one of Ferrari's best cars ever. Ferrari didn't make Michael. Michael made Ferrari. Michael is the.
It's a great.
Michael established their dominance, their legacy. I think if Mick wants to walk in whatever shoes he wants to fill, whatever footsteps he wants to follow, obviously he doesn't have his father to guide him. Seb, he saw what Seb in Ferrari came up with. He saw the like end product of that, and Seb really has been that father figure to him since 2014, 2015. He's always looked up to him. So I think that could be reality. And, maybe Seb's whisper in his ear say, hey, Red Bull one day. And I don't think Christian Horner or Helmet would say no if Mick proves himself. I mean, Michael didn't start at Ferrari. He earned his way up. So I don't want to write off
Yep.
Mick, but I also, just like you said, I kind of share that sentiment. I'd like Mick to kind of establish that career outside of Ferrari. I think that would be very cool for him.
Yeah, no, it's same thing like you just said about, that analogy. It's like, look at what Lewis did for Mercedes. It's
Yep.
like you think Mercedes made Lewis or the other way around.
Correct.
So no, I think that's a great way of putting it. And so no, I think, I mean, I don't know. I got a soft spot for Mick, man. I
Definitely.
really hope that he does well. And like,
Yep.
I want to see him, and if this is a better move, which personally I think it is,
Hmm.
ultimately I don't think he loses a seat in F1. I
Hmm.
think he would find himself a spot, and so we'll see. But
Yep. I
um,
agree.
yeah, and so I guess should we go into predictions? Do we have anything more to talk about? I guess it's going to be a little bit of a
Yeah,
shorter.
I just want to, obviously Danny's going through it. He didn't have a
Oh
great
yeah.
showing
Let's
last
talk
weekend.
about that.
I really liked what happened pre Parc de Ferme when everybody's like getting ready for the race. Danny was sitting alone, and the guys noticed. George came over him, sat down. Mick came over, sat down. Stefan Dominicano came over, sat down. Esteban Ocon came over. They know what Danny's going through, and I really like
Hmm.
that bond between the grid. Seb has
Yeah.
been outspoken about Danny. Lewis has been outspoken about Danny. They both said they hope to see him in F1, and he deserves a drive. So I just really like the unity among drivers. I think that's awesome.
Yep. No, and I think that's a good point because I mean you have to imagine most of these guys aren't seeing each other probably until they step onto the track before
Right.
the race,
Totally.
right? They're not even
Yep.
seeing each other during qual until the top three maybe shake hands, at
Right.
the end of qual. Like
Yeah. When they're all doing their
so that was
interviews. Yeah.
probably exactly. So that was their first time, getting a chance to be like, yo, man, I'm sorry you're going through it and all that. And
Yeah.
I said it last week and I say it again. This is going to be something that McLaren desperately needs to figure out.
Yep.
Um, they have infiltrated a poison into the body of McLaren that it's hard to trust. I'd imagine Lando's been having a tough time with this, and it's it showed promise last year, and
Hmm.
McLaren I still think is right there. I think that they could do it, but no, it's not good. And I do hope Danny finds a spot.
I
I
agree.
don't know where, but we'll
Yeah.
see. He
I hope
sells
he doesn't.
tickets, that's for sure.
Yeah, he sells tickets, and I hope he doesn't sell himself short. I mean, if Haas is his only seat, I'd rather him take a year off like Albon did, and maybe come back to a different program. Maybe wait out the regulations, prove himself in Indy. I know Danny's a driver. He's a crowd favorite, and we love him. So we want to see him
Yep,
do the best.
I agree, 100%. We're pulling for you, buddy.
I hope you see this, Danny.
Absolutely. He's a regular watcher. He'll see.
You're right. Yeah, he's one of four.
Yeah, don't worry.
Um, Kel texted the predictions, but my phone died. I don't know if you're
Yeah, let me see.
recording on your
Hold on.
phone. Yeah.
I am, but hold on. I might have just screwed up. Okay. So Kel has Pierre top 6,
Love it.
and then he's going to go Checo, Charles, or Checo third,
Oh, thought he was
Charles,
winning.
Max. Yeah, Max P1.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take that.
So
Realistic.
yeah, I think so. I like the Pierre top 6. That would
Yeah.
be Pierre. Pierre's been just before we jump in. Pierre's had a bad season, man.
Yeah, I don't
So
know if the
far,
Alpha's that good of a car. It's definitely not as
right?
similar as the Red Bull as it has in previous years. I really hope the Alpine deal works out for him. I hope he ends up over there because they're a really competitive car right now, and I
Mm-hmm.
think they can only get better. So even Helmut Marko in the past, he's been a little hesitant, but he said if Alpine pays the right price, I won't keep Pierre from progressing. So yeah, I think it could be a good prove it weekend. He's hot in the news. He
Yeah,
wants to prove himself. Go out there and drive Pierre.
absolutely, totally agree. So I guess for my top 6, I want to go Danny again.
Yeah,
I want to. I want to see Danny sneak up in there. Well, we'll
Manifest.
see, but yeah, exactly. I said Danny last week, but
My P6. Oh man, I feel like we can't say Alonso. I feel like that's not.
no, I don't think. I think
Uh,
that's
that's
not enough of a
expected.
stretch. I agree.
Yeah.
And
I'll
like I
say
would say, you could
Valtteri.
say,
Valtteri's
yeah.
had some really bad luck, so I'd like to see him back up there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then I see a very big bounce back for old
Mercedes
Louis.
Benz. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna say that
for
too.
old Lewis Hamilton. So
Yeah.
I think we still get Max P1. I'm gonna say Lewis 2. And I'm stuck between George or Checo for 3.
Put your boy in there.
I'll say George. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think there's gonna be a little incident, and I think we're gonna see a
Mm-hmm.
Lewis win. He's going to bounce back.
Ooh.
He's going to prove it. We might see a Merc one too. I'm going to say Lewis, George, Checo because I think there's going to be a little incident up front. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So you predicting that Charles and Max are 1 and 2 on the grid?
Yep. And they're going to do a little
scuffle.
something. One of them are going to, I don't know which one, but somebody's going to get a little selfish. And I think they're going to get into it a little bit. First time, it's getting a little testy. Charles is obviously far in the championship. I think he's got to try his best. So I don't know. Maybe he pulls a racing move. And Alan Prost, if you go for a gap that doesn't exist, you're not a racing driver. So
Yeah.
I think he might go for it.
Yep. No, I agree. And I think you said it a couple of weeks ago. It's like, don't let that man Lewis get hot, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He wins one, he wins another, he wins another, man. This is gonna, again, he can't.
He's not pumped right now. He's pretty pissed off.
No,
Last
no.
race.
Pissed off Lewis is a scary driver, man. So,
I wouldn't be pissed to see a Brazil 2021-esque performance out of Lewis Hamilton.
Not at all. Not at all. No, I mean, dude, this season is put into perspective for me.
Oh yeah.
Just how great of a driver he is. You know what I mean? Like the legend, the legend and the aura that is Lewis Hamilton is it's real.
Yeah. You can say what you want. Obviously, turbo hybrid era, Merc wasn't very close, but Lewis, he won a championship his second year on the F1 grid in a McLaren that was not the fastest car. That man knows how to drive. He proves it week after week. They're the third fastest car, and he's got it on the podium, I don't know, every other week all season. So I don't know. Yeah, like you said, don't count him out.
No, 100%. So no, got a good one to look forward to. I'm excited. F1's back. I mean, are there any other storylines to pay attention to? We got any middle of the pack stuff going on? We got any? I mean, I'm trying to think. I think we covered most of it.
Really, that Williams seat. They've been talking about the other F2 drivers, but nothing set in stone. We have a triple header, so we'll be seeing you guys again next weekend. And I don't know. I feel like a triple header after summer break that has a lot of weight on the driver market, so we might see a lot more moves over the next week. So stay tuned.
Keep an eye out. All right, cool. Go Max.
Go Max.